Hello humans of the internet, my name is Iceberg Lettuce, and today I want to do a little bit of a different video than what I usually do. I just kind of wanted to make a video where I share some of my thoughts and opinions about some of the stuff that was added in yesterday's Snapshot 21W07A. I don't know if this will be a recurring thing that I do every week, but there are just some things I wanted to talk about, so I thought it would be fun to, turn it into a little video. So anyway, let's get started. So the most divisive change in yesterday's Snapshot was definitely the new textures for all of the old ores, and I've seen a lot of people saying they don't like them, a lot of people saying they're big fans, and honestly I think I'm closer to the second group than the first one. I like these textures quite a bit, not only just because they're variated, but because previously the ore textures were really just stone with some colors slapped on them, and I think adding more texturing and shadows to these textures just makes them look a whole lot nicer. Although I do have to say I'm not a huge fan of some of the shapes, particularly iron and redstone are the two. I like coal and gold, but iron and redstone, iron looks weird, just like beetroot seeds for some reason, and redstone something about it just doesn't seem right, the way it's spread out across the block. There's like basically nothing along the top here, but those are just minor tweaks, and honestly overall I am a fan of changing the textures. I've seen a lot of people that say they don't like them, but I really feel like a lot of that is coming from nostalgia and attachment to the old textures, and I think, once people get more used to these new textures, they're going to end up being a lot more fond of them as time goes on. And the other big thing in yesterday's Snapshot was obviously the addition of all of these new Grimstone blocks. And honestly, I'm a big fan of all of these new building blocks. I think they'll be very useful now that we have a dark gray building block to use. But the one that I am most uncertain on, I think, is the original Grimstone block itself, and the reason for that is mostly the fact that it covers up the walls of all of these caves. I think stone, like the original stone, works well as a block for caves and stuff just because it's very simple. It doesn't take up too much brain power to look at it, but Grimstone is just a lot more detailed, and looking at it on all of these huge walls and stuff with Grimstone blocks everywhere, it just gets very busy. It almost looks like static. And I don't know if I like that. It just seems a little too busy for a block that just takes up so much of your vision. So if it were up to me, I would probably smooth this block out a little bit, maybe make it less busy, but other than that, I think these blocks will be very useful for building. Another thing that I noticed when playing around in this snapshot is that Grimstone almost feels like a halfway point between original stone and bedrock. And this almost makes me hope that they're going to redo the bedrock texture because, oh my goodness, does it need it. This texture is like probably my least favorite texture in the game. It is so busy, it's just pixels everywhere, it doesn't look like anything. Just compare these two blocks, this one with all this nice pixel work and this one's just like a jumble of pixels everywhere. I really hope this one gets redone because I cannot stand this texture. As for these Grimstone Caves themselves, I think they're nice, but honestly, I think they might need to generate down just a little bit lower. As it stands, they take up all of the cave space from 0 downwards, which is 64 blocks of space, which means that the space that is actual normal stone caves is the exact same as it was before, just 64 blocks below the surface. And so honestly, I think that they should maybe just squish this down a little bit more, because not many people are going to be down here most of the time, so I don't think it really needs to be that big, so I don't think anyone would really mind if the Deep Dark only took up the bottom maybe 32 or 48 layers. Another thing that I've noticed flying around these caves is something about glow lichen. I really don't like how glow lichen generates only in sections of 1 or 2. It just looks very strange because there's just these tiny little patches of it. I think it looks a lot nicer when you add more glow lichen, so I think that in these caves, glow lichen should generate in much bigger patches like this. It just seems a lot nicer and more natural to me. And the other thing that was changed in yesterday's snapshot was the Creative Redstone tab, and I'm very happy about this one just because scrolling through this thing was a total pain before. So I'm very happy about this, although if I could make one change, I would say they should move the slime and honey blocks into this tab. I understand that they aren't technically redstone components, but basically the only reason people ever use slime or honey is mostly for redstone, so I would say they fit here more than anything, so honestly they should just go ahead and move those in here. So those are my thoughts on 21W07A. I might do this again next week, I might not. I guess we'll have to see. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.